Hey everybody, Mike Burkholder, publisher of East County Today, and I wanted to kind of respond to some of the social media comments on, number one, why I posted a 27-minute video. I want to get into the Armchair Firefighters and people that are making comments about how East Contra Costa firefighters as well as Contra Costa firefighters are lazy, and really just kind of put out some additional facts that were not available at the time the video was shot. I think it's pretty sad and pathetic that people are calling firefighters lazy and need more training, and you have all these people from around the country kind of commenting of how they just didn't do their job well, and that's simply untrue. First of all, the call came in as basically one house on fire after an explosion. A few minutes later, as crews were getting ready to leave the station, multiple other callers came in with basically 3 houses are on fire. And what people need to understand is Bethel Island's kind of, and actually this goes for the whole district as a whole, you've got 3 engines. So your best service at any given time is kind of in the middle of where all those 3 engines are at any given time. So when a fire comes in, you still only have 3 engines to respond. You're now relying on Contra Costa Fire, which is another district, to supply your additional engines, and in most cases it's 2, and in this case it went second alarm. So for February, let me just say, the average response time was just under 8 minutes. The average response time on Bethel Island was over 13. So the first engine, which was engine 53 out of Oakley, which is the closest station, was luckily available. They made it to the call within 10 minutes and 30 seconds. One of the fire captains did their 180 circle around, were able to confirm that 3 homes were on fire, and immediately requested that second alarm. Next, I want to just say that this idea they didn't do enough to save homes, well, that's not true, because what they did is they actually saved multiple other homes in the process. The call came in 3 houses on fire. It ended with 3 houses that were destroyed. Had this been the day before with all the winds, you could be looking at 6, 7, 8, 9 homes on fire just because of the embers flying everywhere on Bethel Island. But people, the video was 27 minutes long. It was a snapshot of the entire incident. Folks, this was a 14-hour incident. So this whole idea that they were lazy, they didn't do their jobs, folks, the firefighters on the levee, their main job was water supply, to make sure that there was enough water for other firefighters to put out the water. It's not like they were sitting there doing nothing. If they left their post and went to go save property, I mean, what would you have done if the water stopped? I mean, what are you supposed to do? I saw one comment where someone made a snide remark that they didn't let the car out of the driveway. Guys, Bethel Island Road is a 2-lane, one-way in, one-way out road. Engines were parked. You had 8, 9, 10 engines parked along the road. You had hose along the road. What are they supposed to do? Stop what they're doing, move the hose to let a car out? No. And the car is fine. So I realize that there is these armchair firefighters, and every district is different. But don't go bird dog one another just because you think you know better than the current district. Do you work in that district? Do you understand that district? Do you know the variables of that district? Do you know where the next stations are located? For crying out loud, even local media gets it wrong. You had KTVU, sorry to call you out, but you said the closest station to Bethel Island is Brentwood. Clearly untrue. It's Oakley. The 2nd, 3rd, and 4th stations that are closest are in Antioch, and that's a separate district. Then you've got TV media showing Contra Costa fire engines, and that's the wrong district. You claim there's a fire, crisis. You claim there's a funding issue. There is, but it's been going on since 2002, since the creation of the district. You're acting like it just happened, like it just popped out of nowhere. Do your job, educate. Quit trying to make a sensational story. Yes, a fire station is being built right there on Cypress and Bethel Island Road. But without a revenue enhancement, it's going to sit empty. It's the same, you know. I really just think people need to stop complaining and come up with solutions. It is absolutely insane to me. I've been doing this for 7 years. Nothing's changed. Same argument. People want the services, but they don't want to pay for it. And that's a shame, because this has nothing to do with the current district, but how the district was formed and Prop 13. You have legislators making Mickey Mouse promises, putting out Mickey Mouse bills that they know will never happen, but they want to make it look like they're doing something. Talk to them. Fix the state law. You know, the other thing I heard was people complaining about our boat. Look, a boat's nice, it's great, but you still got to man it. So with 3 fire stations, do you want someone on a boat or do you want them on the ground fighting a fire? The fireboat came from Pittsburgh, 30, 40 minutes away. And really at that point, by the time they get on scene, it's the fires, I mean, it's not really going to help. People are throwing out stuff that doesn't even apply, and it's confusing the message. The bottom line is they weren't lazy. They did their job. They did it well. They saved additional homes. I feel terrible for everybody that lost their home and people impact. I mean, it's just the way it is in East Contra Costa Fire until people step up and are willing to say, hey, we want additional stations. We want additional staff. And we're at a point where they've looked at everything, they've tried everything. You're going to need some sort of revenue enhancement. I'm not trying to advocate for a tax right now, but you really do get the services you pay for. And right now, look at your tax bill. You're not paying as much into East Contra Costa Fire, where you're getting 7 cents on the dollar, whereas Confire is getting 13, 14 cents. It's not a new argument. It's in every report. Just go look at it. To me, this is not, you know, the whole goal with the videos is to show people how hard they worked and what they did and really let people understand just what goes into fighting a fire. You know, it's going to take a while to figure out the cause. You know, it's not like they like fighting fires. They don't like it at all. So in closing, I mean, you guys, just stop with the freaking armchair firefighting. They're professionals. They know what they're doing. Just thank them for saving additional homes. I don't understand why everyone has to be critical all the time in anything and everything everyone does. Just be thankful and figure out how you could become part of the solution. That's all. Anyway, I know this is kind of a rant. I won't try and do this from time to time, but it's very frustrating with all these armchair firefighters out there, social media, people complaining. You know, multiple rhetoric is not the solution. Everyone just needs to kind of come together and figure out something that's best for the community, because had a fire happened in Brentwood, you'd have had your next 8 engines all the way on Bethel Island, and that house would have gone up in Oakley or in Antioch. I mean, it's such a dynamic district, and really your best service is the location where all the engines are at. So, you know, something to consider. Go to a fire board meeting and just stop with the online rhetoric. It's just stupid. Calling firefighters lazy is just pathetic, and thinking you know better than them. I highly encourage you to go to a meeting, go to a ride-along, and just knock it off.